Welcome to Horse of the West. We're in Nampa for the Great Western Reining Horse Association Low Roller Reining Classic and Best Little Derby in the West. It's a twofer, a Derby and Futurity combined due to COVID, and another record-breaking reining event.
Yeah, I was shocked at the numbers.
You know, everybody's coming out to play.
We'll have the non-pro and open Derby action coming up. And Nampa is where rookies get treated like the real deal for a $20 entry fee.
I got 5 judges judging it. It's just, the hype's right there. It's exciting.
Dr. Joe Carter discusses surgical treatment for joint infections in Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim. And we'll learn more about the 2 newest inductees into the NRHA Hall of Fame and the 2020 NRHA Dale Wilkinson Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Welcome to the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa, home of 2 Great Western Reining Horse Association events, the Low Roller Reining Classic and the Best Little Derby in the West. Both were combined this year due to COVID-19.
And this horse show has just completely exploded. Almost 2,250 runs in an 8-day time period. Just absolutely crazy. From 2018 to 2019, we sold 100 more stalls than we had in 2018. When we went, wow, that's crazy. Wow, did we grow? And this year we sold 150 more than what we had, which was, that's almost when you go back from 2018 to 2020, it's about a 60% increase. And Horse of the West, you know what? They're out telling everybody exactly what we have to offer here. And that's pretty awesome in itself. But lots of people just looking for a horse show, just wanting a horse show. And this year was the number of new people coming was very exciting for us, because we know that when they come, they have a great time here. They're really having an opportunity to get their horses showed, that they're coming back again next year. We'll see them in April.
Cam Essick of Clements, California is riding her homebred gelding Love Ya by NRHA $4 million sire Gunna Trasha out of her good mare Love 'em and Lena by Smart Little Lena. Cam and Love Ya have won the Best Little Derby in the West the last 2 years, last year in a runoff. This is the last Derby year for the pair, and they earn a 213 from the judges here in Nampa. Rick Keel is from Spanish Fork, Utah. He's riding the 5-year-old gelding Guns Blazing.
He is by Wimpy's Little Step and out of Dolled Up Gunner. So both kind of recognizable names in the industry. He was raised by Jordan Larson. We bought him from Jordan and his sweet wife as a 3-year-old right before the Futurity. Took him to the NRHA Futurity and came awful close to making the finals.
But they did make it to the finals of the National Reining Breeders' Classic twice. Here in Nampa, they tied defending champions Cam Essick and Love Ya with a 213. Amy Rushing of Fort Collins, Colorado, was riding Day Drinkin' Chick, a.k.a. Tipsy. These 2 scored a 219 last year here in Nampa, but the mare Amy calls a sweetheart trots out of the rollback, and they end up with a 213.
She ran hard. She gave me everything she had. I just didn't drive her out of that rollback hard enough, and, you pay for it.
George Stone of Butte, Montana is riding a gelding named Always Cocky by Wimpy Needs a Cocktail out of their mare Always Sailing Smart.
I finally getting figured out how to get him ready to show, and so he did pretty well. Most of the problems that we had today was I just didn't push him hard enough, like into the stops and stuff. So my last stop was probably the best maneuver of the whole deal.
From the judges, yet another 213, which will put George and 5-year-old Always Cocky in a 4-way tie for 5th. Magnetize is our next horse, ridden by Jennifer Gilliam of Springville, California. This is a 5-year-old mare by NRHA Hall of Fame sire Magnum Chick Dream out of Dunnett and Continental. Jennifer made the decision to bring her horse home to her house rather than leaving it with her trainer.
I feel like I've gotten to know him. However, sometimes he doesn't feel as tuned as maybe he would if he lived up there, so it's kind of that push and pull, but I enjoy having the horse at home and getting to, ride him every day.
A 214.5 will give Jennifer Gilliam and Magnetize 4th place and earn them $1,100. Brooke Boyle of Ione, California is a nurse who basically designed her life so she would have time to keep showing horses. Her parents are both NRHA professionals, so this has been her world and it is her passion. Brooke's riding a homebred, a 6-year-old mare by $4 million sire Gunner's Special Night out of Sunset Whiz. The mare earns Brooke a score of 215 for 3rd place and $1,300.
So my dad showed her mostly her 3-year-old, 4-year-old year, and then I kind of started showing her her 5-year-old year, and then I've shown her all this year, and then we thought, oh, it's our last show of the year, why don't we both do her? And she's just rose to the occasion. She's such a good mare.
George Stone is back now on a mare he says is not as talented as the gelding he's already ridden, but is a steady Eddie who is much simpler to ride. Her name is Holly's Little Step, and she's by Hall of Fame stallion and $11 million sire Wimpy's Little Step out of Holly Seed. She does give George a nice smooth ride and a score of 216, which will make him the reserve champion of the 2020 fall edition of the Best Little Derby in the West, with a prize of nearly $1,900. Stephanie Porath of Idaho Falls is the daughter of show manager George King, who was in the dark about this horse his daughter's riding for 2 years. This is Holly's Little Gold Digger by NRHA $2 million sire Paleface Dunnett. She was the last foal of Conquista Holly, a mare Stephanie rode.
I sold it to my mom, and she kept it a secret from my dad for 2 years, and she lived in his barn, and he kept asking what horse this was, and he thought it was one of ours, and I says, I don't know, and eventually I just had to tell her, like, you need to talk to your mom, you need to talk to mom about that. So it's a little secret. That's her name now. I've never shown her, just till now. I've been in nursing school for the last 2 years, and I graduate actually in 8 weeks, and I decided to, I was like, hey mom, can I show your horse? So she was like, I'd love you to. So
Stephanie and Secret seem made for each other. They mark a 218.5 to win the 2020 Best Little Derby in the West Non-Pro Championship and a purse of nearly $2,900. So where is Stephanie headed now? Not Disneyland.
I'm gonna go do homework.
All in all, the Great Western Reining Horse Association earns high marks from riders on making such a huge horse show work and still be a great time.
They just do a superior job, and it's a superior facility too. It's just awesome, and all the help here at the facility, the crew, they go bend over backwards to help you out and get everything right.
I've talked to some other friends of mine that are from Texas and other areas, have never been here, and this year's their first year, and they've just been amazed at how friendly and fun everyone is.
When we come back, the action from the Best Little Derby in the West Open, plus Dr. Joe Carter on surgical intervention into joint infection in Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim. And later, 3 new honorees from the National Reining Horse Association. Don't write off.
You're watching Horse of the West on RFD TV.
Welcome back to Horse of the West and the Great Western Reining Horse Association Low Roller Reining Classic and Best Little Derby combo show from Nampa, Idaho. Due to COVID, they rolled their 2 yearly events into one and had a truly historic turnout. 212 horses in the Derby alone. That meant a couple of nights showing after midnight, but the riders agree the Great Western Reining Horse Association crew made it work as well as anybody could.
For them to be able to keep it fun for everybody, whether it's the free keg of beer over there at Equine Oasis or the draw party or whatever, they're doing an awesome job.
They work the ground good. They just keep it very hospitable for their riders. It's very easy.
We travel all over the United States, and this has got to be one of the best facilities and one of the best crews around. I mean, they just do such a good job putting this horse show on, and it's no wonder that it just keeps growing. I mean, people want to be here. When you come here one time, you're hooked.
Sean McBurney of Arlington, Washington says he was amped up after showing even though it was a late night and was ready to show some more. He marked a 217.5 on Penny Gutschmidt's This Gunner's Dreamin' to earn 6th place and $2,100.
Yeah, he's fun. He's great. He's pretty lazy and stuff like that, which works out good for me because I can get him a little bit gassy anyways, but he was just, I just had a blast out there showing him tonight. He was a lot of fun.
Jonathan Baruch is from Whitesboro, Texas. He flew in for a catch ride on Lindsay Kovik's Bulletproof Shiner by new NRHA $1 million sire Shiner's Voodoo Doctor out of Smartin Bulletproof. They earn a share of 6th and $2,100 with a 217.5.
We just made a plan actually for me just to come and catch ride him. So I flew in on Thursday night, rode him in the middle of the night, and then showed him the next day. So it was really good. I have never shown him before. That was our first time, and it was so easy. It just was just a walk in the park. I wish all my horses would be that easy.
Devin Warren came in the hard way, dragging a trailer load of horses from Franktown, Colorado. But he says this show made it worth the trip.
Those customers feel like it's worth, for us, a 14-hour haul for them to be able to come up and show 6-7 times.
Devin earns a $218 and the fourth place prize of $2,500 on a horse he owns, Magnum Beach Blonde by NRHA $6 million sire Magnum Chick Dream out of Whiz Me Gold. Devin says this is a nice mare that just has been a little bit injury prone since she was a foal.
We just call her Maui because she's cost me a trip to Maui. You know, so between injuries and this and that, you know, but we'll be flushing embryos out of her this year. I mean, she's one of those mares that, I mean, she's kind of fickle when you first get on her. She's kind of like, I could buck you off, but I won't, you know. And so you give her the first 15 seconds of every ride, that's hers. You know, after that, you know, she'll die for you.
Jordan McBurney, Sean's wife, is showing a mare he rode in the NRHA Futurity last year. This is Rhodes River Ranch's Beautiful out of NRHA $1 million sire Whiskey and Diamonds out of She Slides Right. Jordan earns a $218.5 to tie for second with a paycheck of $3,500.
I was thrilled with her. She showed great. I've shown her 4 times this year, and she showed the best tonight. I've kind of got her figured out. Her stop's just been getting better and better, and circling, it felt like I could push her tonight. She wanted to stay with me, and she just felt comfortable in the show pen. I was just super happy with that.
Gabe Hutchins of Joseph, Oregon also earns a $218.5 and a piece of second place on Tamarack Ranch's Lovin' Ya, a 6-year-old stallion by NRHA $4 million sire Gunatrasha out of Love 'em and Lena.
He's everybody's favorite horse here at the horse show once you meet him. He's just so laid back. I mean, he's still a stallion, but he's the best gelding we got in the barn. I mean, he's just a cool horse. He's got so much personality, and he's a lot of fun to train. He has a pretty special mind. He's really enjoyable horse.
And the winner of the 2020 Best Little Derby in the West Open Championship, Nicole Hutchings of Arlington, Washington. Her score of 220.5 earns her the first place prize of $6,500 on board Whitney Peterson's 5-year-old stallion, Face Chicks Love, by NRHA $1 million sire Paleface Dunnett out of She and Chick Dunnett.
Oh, I was super thrilled with my run today. I knew we had it in us. We've had a couple little struggles throughout the year here and there, and I knew we could put it together. I mean, he went in and he turned huge for me, circled really awesome, was right there with me the whole time. He's character. We give him treats, and he likes to suck on his tongue after he eats his treat. So he just sticks his tongue out and drools and sucks on it. But other than that, no, he's a really good horse, and we love him. He's been great since we got him.
Congratulations to Nicole Hutchings and Whitney Peterson. But the fun's not over. The Rookie Shootout is up next.
They get all these incredible prizes.
All for the price of a pizza. It's the best reining deal in America, just ahead.
You're watching Horse of the West on RFD TV.
Welcome back to Horse of the West and the 2020 Low Roller Reining Classic from Nampa, Idaho. The Rookie Shootout is one of the highlights of this event each October. All the trimmings of a major competition for a $20 entry fee. And this year, it was bigger than ever.
I mean, we say the youth is the foundation. Yeah, the rookies are too. You know what? And so everything we can be able to hype into that and put into those, you know what, it just adds to the excitement of what we're doing here. And we just want to pay it back into them as well. You know, we have 2 slates of rookie, and they go run both of them. We had 124, okay. And the first class was 124, and then the second class was like 115. They add their scores together, and the top 10 plus ties, and this year we had 3 ties, so we had 12 in the class. So they all come back in for a clean slate finals, and then we seed the finals. They got 5 judges judging it. It's just, you know, the hype's right there. It's exciting. The winner gets a saddle from Equine Oasis, beautiful trophy saddle. Every one of the finalists get a buckle, and they get a knife, and they get all these incredible prizes. Camp chairs. Yeah. So they're going home with a lot of loot for what's a $20 rookie class. Very exciting.
Congratulations to 15-year-old Haley Hoffman of Denver, Colorado, who won both rookie slates and then finished first in the shootout on board Wilma's Got a Whiz by Spook's Got a Whiz out of Anson's Old Girl.
I think it's really cool. I think the prizes are really good.
When we come back, the National Reining Horse Association honors its own.
Your Horse Inside and Out with Dr. Joe Carter, sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim.
Joint ill in foals is something that all horse breeders dread. Joint ill is basically when a bacteria goes through the bloodstream and lodges into the joint capsule or the joint fluid of a foal and then starts to grow and produces an infection in the foal's joint. Now this is a very serious problem. It's a life-threatening problem. It's a debilitating problem. They can have long-term, if they survive it, they can have long-term consequences from it: chronic lameness, cartilage loss, joint disease. It affects the horse's performance throughout their life if not treated properly. Very, very serious situation. So most people think that navel joint ill comes from a navel ill or a navel infection, and it does occur frequently from that. But even a more frequent way that it occurs is through the digestive tract. Like if they have diarrhea, they absorb a bacteria into their bloodstream and it goes and it lodges into the horse's joint, the foal's joint. How we treat that is with a joint lavage. We put them on antibiotics. You do cultures, make sure you're using the right antibiotic. But basically you want to flush the bad bacteria and the infected, inflamed joint fluid out of the foal's joint and replace it with good, healthy fluid. And so to do a copious lavage of that joint, remember the solution to pollution is dilution. So we want to dilute that joint fluid, that infected joint fluid, with saline, lavage it out real well. So if ever you think you have a lame foal or a foal with a swollen joint, contact your veterinarian, because navel ill or joint ill is an important problem. And I'm Dr. Joe Carter with Your Horse Inside and Out.
Your Horse Inside and Out is sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim. Before making any decisions about your horse's health, be sure to contact your veterinarian. You're watching Horse of the West on RFD TV.
Welcome back to Horse of the West. The National Reining Horse Association inducted 2 new members into its Hall of Fame in 2020. Both of them left an indelible mark on the reining community. Jerry Kimmel ended up in the equine world because he married a horse-crazy woman named Carmen. He ended up in reining because he liked the action and the competition, according to his friends and mentors, NRHA Hall of Fame couple Tim and Colleen McQuay. They steered Jerry's career in riding and breeding from his very first reining horse until the end. That came in April 2020, much too soon for all who loved him. A kinder man was never to be found, nor a more generous benefactor of reining. Jerry invested his time and money in a variety of ways: as a consistent supporter of the Reining Horse Foundation, as an investor in show production, and by funding the trip of Reining's Team USA to the 2006 World Equestrian Games in Germany. There, Jerry was thrilled to watch his stallion, Mr. Nickadoodle, earn team gold and individual silver under his friend Tim McQuay. But the horse that absolutely stole Jerry's heart was Done Got a Gun, by Hall of Fame sire Hollywood Dunnett and Katie Gunn. The 2 gentle, blue-eyed souls, human and equine, shared a special bond that cheered Jerry through his final days. Jerry Kimmel is remembered for the sweetness of his smile and the depth of his devotion to family, friends, and the sport of reining, and for his well-deserved place in the NRHA Hall of Fame. Sally Brown always loved horses, but found her true love in reining horses, a love she expressed through hard work, lasting friendships, and endless enthusiasm. Sally and her other true love, lifetime partner Buck Hazeldine, founded Fox Meadow Farm in Minnesota, where Sally put her penchant for pedigrees to work creating an exceptional band of broodmares. Sally crossed them with the stallion Hollywood Jack 86, owned in partnership with NRHA Hall of Fame member Richie Greenberg. Jack went on to be the first NRHA $1 million sire and himself a member of the Hall of Fame. Sally's friendship with Hall of Fame trainer Bob Loomis led her to take a chance breeding one of her good Jack mares to his up-and-coming stallion Topsail Whiz, now a Hall of Fame member. The result was Wizard Jack, winner of the NRHA Open Futurity and the inaugural USET Reining Championship. He too would go on to be a $1 million sire. Among his best-known offspring is a mare that ended up on The Ellen Show after she performed flawlessly without saddle or bridle. Sally was ecstatic about the fame of Wizard's Baby Doll because she loved anything that brought more attention to the sport she loved. Sally bred $3 million sire Jack's Electric Spark and helped establish the NRHA Derby in St. Paul. She did all that despite having her life cut short in 2007 at the age of 66. Days before her death, Sally was honored with the first NRHA Dale Wilkinson Lifetime Achievement Award, and now she will live on in reining history as a member of the NRHA Hall of Fame. The reining community also honored the 2020 recipient of the NRHA Dale Wilkinson Lifetime Achievement Award. The equine industry has never had a stronger, more effective advocate in Oklahoma City than Mike Carrier, president of the Convention and Visitors Bureau from 2007 until autumn 2020. It's always been more than business for Mike. He is a fan of horse sport. He's followed it closely and is a frequent fan up in the stands along with his dear wife, Carolyn. He's been a consistent supporter of the NRHA, instrumental in helping relocate its headquarters to a larger facility adjacent to State Fair Park. Mike and the CVB have sponsored multiple NRHA events over the years, as well as NRHA's nationwide TV show, and named the NRHA as one of the city's hometown heroes. Over the years, Mike has championed support of the Reining Horse Foundation, both personally and professionally. Mike Carrier is headed east now to spend more time with grandkids in North Carolina, but he takes with him the thanks of our industry and the NRHA Dale Wilkinson Lifetime Achievement Award. Thanks for watching Horse of the West, and don't forget to subscribe to the Horse of the West YouTube channel. Coming up in the weeks ahead here on RFD TV, Horse of the West coverage of Better Barrel Races action from RFD TV The American Rodeo, plus the National Reining Horse Association, Futurity Open, and Non-Pro Championships. I'm Jennifer Reynolds. See you then.